G'day, welcome back to the channel. Hey, so I've changed the format up a bit and I figured I'd use a bit more of a conversational format, I guess, and it should be just a couple of people hanging out in the shed talking like old mates. So, back in the day, kit beers, they got a bad name. Look, you'd hear people talking about that classic homebrew tang, and of course, that next day hangover. Don't lie, you've all experienced it. And why? Because most of us were brewing kit and kilo. And what that looked like was simply, you know, your good old can of concentrate and a kilo of table sugar. And if you couple that with a lack of fermentation temperature control, with yeast producing its esters and its higher alcohols, look, it becomes a perfect storm for a 4-1 hangover the next day. You know exactly the one I'm talking about, but the one where you feel like you're recovering from an autopsy. But here's the good news. These days, there's a huge range of fermentables out there. They're easy enough to find, they're affordable, and they'll make your kit beers taste as good as an all grain. Oh, well, as good as they can be without the hours of mashing and cleaning. So what I wanted to do with you guys today was do a newbie's guide to fermentables. So I guess, why do fermentables matter? At the end of the day, yeast eats sugar. And they leave us alcohol, or the booze, the fun stuff, as well as that carbon dioxide. That's the fizz that we're all used to. But not all sugars are equal. Some ferment clean, some add body, some add flavour. And choosing the right one can mean the difference between a thin, cidery, watery beer and a pint you'd be proud to hand to your mates. So, some of the common sugars we'll encounter as homebrewers. Table sugar, dextrose, maltose, maltodextrin and lactose. Let's start with everyone's good old favourite from the early 90s, table sugar or sucrose. Yes, you can use it. Yes, it makes alcohol, but it leaves the beer thin with poor head retention and no malt character. It's cheap, and it should be too. But it works. But it's usually not worth it. Look, we're not trying to brew some kind of prison hooch. We want the best beer possible. So that said, it can be used in some recipes where it serves its purpose. Things like, you know, that Cooper's Ginger Beer Kit or Belgian Triples, that's because this dries the beer right out, and that's what we're trying to achieve. Now, brewing sugars. These sounds fancy, but it's just dextrose. So what's dextrose? Well, it's glucose that's made from cornstarch, and that's why it's often called corn sugar. Yeast absolutely love this stuff. It ferments out completely, it boosts the alcohol, and it leaves nothing behind. No body, no flavour. It's clean and it's predictable. That's why it's often used as a priming sugar. Now, here's where people get confused. Maltose versus maltodextrin. So, maltose is the main sugar in malt extract and barley. Yeast can ferment it, so it makes alcohol, but it also gives you that malty beer flavour, and that's what we're after. Let's talk about non-fermentable sugars. So maltodextrin, this one here, it's different. It also comes from cornstarch, but instead of being a single sugar, it's a chain of glucose molecules stuck together to form what they call a complex carbohydrate. Yeast can't break this down, so maltodextrin stays in the beer. So it's not sweet to the taste, but it adds body and it makes the beer feel thicker as far as mouthfeel goes, and it helps with foam and head retention. Now, one more often that gets mixed up with good old maltodextrin, and I've got some over here, is lactose. This is milk sugar. Like maltodextrin, yeast can't ferment it, but unlike maltodextrin, lactose does taste sweet. That's why it's used in things like milk stouts, cream ales, and some of those fancy pastry beers that you get. It leaves residual sweetness in the beer, which is the exact opposite of maltodextrin. So, I guess remember, maltodextrin, it's not fermentable, it's not sweet, it adds body and it adds foam. Lactose is not fermentable, it is sweet, and it adds sweetness and creaminess. So I guess let's talk about brew enhancers. These are pre-mixed bags of dextrose, maltodextrin, and sometimes malt extract. For instance, Cooper's Brewing sugar, that's 800 grams of dextrose and 200 grams of maltodextrin in an 80-20 mix. Brew Enhancer 1 is 600 grams of dextrose and 400 grams of maltodextrin in a 60-40 mix. And Brew Enhancer 2, which I've got here, is 500 grams of dextrose and 250 of maltodextrin, as well as 250 grams of dry malt extract in a 50-25-25 blend. Each blend's designed for different beer styles. So your Brew Enhancer 1, that's great in light and crisp sort of beers like your lagers. Enhancer 2, that's great for fuller beers and maltier ales and bitters. Brew Enhancer 3 is great for your darker beers. Now here's the thing. These are about $9 for what's basically a kilo of sugar in a printed box. Look, I make my own. I buy my dextrose, my maltodextrin and dry malt in bulk in 5 or 25 kilo bags. It works out to be about $5.50 for a brew enhancer if I buy in bulk and I make my own. That means that this lovely cardboard box that the Cooper's one comes in is worth about $3.50.
I need about $3.50.
You can't argue with these for the convenience. So I weigh my own out, 600 and 400, 500, 250, 250 mixes. Look, it saves me money and it gives me another lever to pull so I can tweak a kit to get it exactly the way I want it instead of being locked in to one size fits all blend. So, dry malt extract, or DME. That's spray dried malt powder. It comes in light, amber or dark, and you just match the colour to the beer style you're brewing. It adds malt flavour, body and head retention, and wheat dry malt extract is especially good for foam. Now, liquid malt extract, or LME, it's the same thing, it's just wet. A can of this thick syrup, so 1.5 kilos of liquid malt extract is about equal to about 1.1 kilos of dry malt extract. Because it's not fully dried, liquid malt extract can taste a bit fresher, but it also darkens over time and can add a tang if it's old. Now, dry malt extract, that can clump when you add water, and that's normal. Yeast will chew through it anyway, so don't stress if you've got lumps, but pour boiling water over it and give it a swirl. It dissolves pretty easily. Again, no stress if you get some lumps. Where you can really level up is with steeping grains. Think of it as making a tea with crushed malt. A couple of 100 grams of carapils, crystal, biscuit, chocolate malt, that adds flavour as well as freshness and head retention. You just steep it at about 65 degrees, then boil it for a minute or two to sanitise it, and obviously longer if you're going to add bittering hops and the like. And suddenly your beer tastes fresher and more complex. Oh, and speaking of, don't forget the fun stuff. Honey, treacle, molasses and golden syrup. Basically, if it's sugar and it doesn't contain preservatives, it's fair game in my opinion. Each has its own twist. You can use honey for a floral note, molasses for that rum character, and treacle for its richness. So I guess let's boil it down. Use table sugar for cheap booze if you want a thin body. You can use dextrose or corn sugar. It's fully fermentable and it creates clean alcohol. Maltose from malt extract. It's fermentable and it gives a malt flavour. Maltodextrin from cornstarch. It's unfermentable and it adds body and it's not sweet. And of course, lactose. It's non-fermentable and it adds creaminess and the like. But dry malt extract and liquid malt extract should be the backbone of your beer because they add real malt flavour and body. Steeping grains can add freshness and complexity. Brew enhancers are a mix and they're even better if you make your own. So again, I can't say it enough. If you want cheap alcohol, use sugar. If you want a great beer, use a brew enhancer. And if you want even better than that, use a brew enhancer and steeping grains. So that's your newbie guide to fermentables. Look, if this video has helped you out, consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. And ring that little bell icon. That way you'll know when I've got a new video ready for you. And let me know in the comments, have you ever fallen into the trap of just simply dumping in a good old kilo of cane sugar and wondering why your beer wasn't that great? Oh, and if you want to see me pimp out a Cooper's beer kit, I'll put a link to it up here somewhere. So, that's it for this week. I'll catch you on the next one. Remember, life's too short to drink dodgy beers or to not have a go and make your own brew enhancers and save yourself a few bucks and not spend $3.50 on a cardboard box.
I need about $3.50.
Till then, cheers. Oh yeah.